the geography teacher, entered the classroom that morning with a more mysterious smile than usual. Instead of carrying a large globe, he acted as if he were examining a tiny speck of dust suspended in the air. "Children," said Mr. Fatih, "today I am going to tell you about the greatest wonder in the world, but this wonder is much smaller than you think." A curious silence fell over the classroom. Hakan and Kenan, sitting in the front row, waited with anticipation to hear what their teacher would say. Hakan set his pen down on the desk, while Kenan adjusted his glasses and listened intently. Mr. Fatih continued, "Have you ever thought about how everything is in such perfect harmony? From the stars to the oceans, from the massive sun to a tiny fly. Doesn't it all seem to come from the hand of a single master?" At that moment, Kadir and Nuriye focused on the chalkboard. Mr. Fatih drew a sun, a cloud, and a flower on the board. "Look," he said, "every part of the universe is like a relative to one another. None can act independently of the others. They are all parts of the same magnificent system." Kadir and Nuriye tried to understand the hidden connection between these simple drawings. Just then, a small fly buzzing near the window caught the attention of Aiseh and Nazli. While Ais wondered how the fly could flap its tiny wings so fast, Nazli watched as it bumped against the glass. Mr. Fatih smiled and pointed to the fly. "There, this tiny guest can tell us the story of the entire universe." Mr. Fatih pointed to the sun outside. "This fly needs the sun to see," he said. "If the sun didn't exist, those tiny eyes would be useless. This means that whoever created the fly is the same one who created the sun and placed it there, because only the owner of both can bring light and the eye together." As Hakan and Kadir looked at the sky outside, Mr. Fatih continued, "Is it just the sun? The clouds and the rain are also necessary for this fly. If it didn't rain, flowers wouldn't bloom. If flowers didn't bloom, the fly couldn't find food. So the life of this tiny creature is tied to the giant clouds in the sky and the plants on the earth." Nuriye and Aiseh began to examine a colorful flower in a pot in the classroom. Mr. Fatih said, "As you can see, children, the fly's stomach needs food, and food needs soil and water. If the person who designed the fly's body didn't also design the world and the seasons, this fly couldn't survive for even a single day." Mr. Fatih raised his voice slightly as he reached the most important point. "Do you know what would happen if this order were based on blind chance or material causes? Then the massive sun, the giant clouds, and the whole earth would have to fit inside that fly's tiny eye and brain. Because to make that eye, one must know the light. To feed that stomach, one must know the universe. This is impossible." Kenan and Nazli looked at each other, struck by this wonderful logic. Kenan said, "So, teacher, to create one fly, you actually need to create the whole universe." Nazli nodded. "Yes, because everything is connected." For the first time, the children understood clearly that everything is managed by a single hand within God's perfect system. When the lesson ended and Mr. Fatih was packing his bag, Hakan came up to him. "Teacher," Hakan said, "now when I look at a fly, I won't just see a small insect, I will see a mirror of the whole universe." Mr. Fatih patted his student's shoulder. As all the children left the classroom that day, they began to see the art of the one almighty creator everywhere.